Series 2 of the 2025 50 Faces podcast was born into a time of tremendous market turbulence in our industry. We held, as usual, 10 conversations with a diverse range of guests, sourced globally, and listen in to hear how we go from the top down to the bottom up, into the weeds and back out again to take helicopter views. Tune in to hear about the technologies in venture capital and climate tech that excite even the most experienced investors who have seen multiple cycles.
I think what's exciting again is people are embracing big swing innovation, which has not been the case, I think, in the past 5 years. It's been more about incrementalism and doing the fifth or sixth vertical software company in the same category. And now people are actually embracing investing again behind innovation that can tackle big problems. And I think that's exciting. That's what venture is supposed to be. I think we've gotten away from that. And I think there's a lot of drivers and capital and support and reason to believe that we can tackle big problems in defense and in energy and in other categories that are really important to the success of our country on a go-forward basis. And so that gets me really excited about the next cycle we're entering into.
I think particularly industrial biotechnology is going to be a huge upcoming area that we will hear much more about going forwards. And that will then help us reduce our reliance on fossil fuels to develop petrochemicals. I think phase 2 of carbon capture technologies are really hugely exciting. So I know amine technology works, but really it's far too expensive. It's not the solution for the future. And there's some really interesting and exciting innovation, which will slash the cost of carbon capture and really kind of enable that industry to take off. And then, of course, we have innovations in sectors that are harder to abate, like the built environment and in industry, where we see a huge amount of innovative material science and business models as well, looking at how can we make our homes more energy efficient.
We hear about private equity's evolution.
Well, I think our industry has done itself a real disservice by taking kind of the private and private equity to an extreme. Decades of people not wanting to talk about their performance or not wanting to tell you what company they invested in. And it was really silly. It was silly then. It's even sillier now. And we're moving past that. But I think it did real harm to the industry and sort of stunted, frankly, its growth. Transparency is important. Data is really important. Data is really the solution.
And the quiet achievements of public pension funds committed to flexing their muscle to diversify the financial industry.
Over 51% of our portfolio is allocated or managed by MWBE firms, and we're really proud of that. And I think we will continue to march down that path. We, again, as I mentioned, we have this first look program, and it allows us to get a preview of future firms that are going to be successful, whatever asset class they may be in. You know, that's the future.
In a time of tremendous change, we focus on the wisdom that has not changed, from knowing what to expect.
Embracing change should excite you in this industry. In fact, I remember in my first 5 years in my career, I had 6 different bosses. So, there's a lot that can change.
To staying true to yourself.
I feel that one of the things that was most important to me was authenticity, that people have an ability to smell as well as observe if you walk the walk that you're talking. And if you don't, they then take a pretty, I think appropriately, jaundiced eye. People are watching all the time, and they should be. And that's what, you have to take that on when you're a leader. And so authenticity for me is one of the biggest and most important aspects of leadership that I believe in. And if you do it well, it pays you back 1,000 times.
To not losing sight of the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Life's not just about the destination, right? Like I think I've never really had this process in my mind of this is where I want to be in the future. It's more enjoy life, enjoy the experiences that you have along the way. It's just effectively life's short, right?
And to coping with loss.
Well, for the record, winning is still better. But yes, the way I say it is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And also, if you got frustrated from losing, if you're one of those people, boy, would you be living a miserable life, because the most successful people in the world, they fail far more often than they succeed. And, when do you learn the better lessons? oftentimes it's, the failure that produces the best learning.
We are reminded to remember to network.
Something I wish I had taken more seriously at the beginning of my career is the power of networking. I would tell my younger self to build those relationships from the start. Networks open doors and they give you diverse perspectives and they're invaluable.
And shown how to take things to the next level.
The one thing that has struck me about now mentoring people, younger people in my business or, as I speak to people, is the word elevate. We all have an opportunity to deliver service, to deliver papers, to deliver a phone call, deliver a presentation to a client. That client doesn't have to be there in front of you. So, the word elevate often comes to my mind. It often is used by me in my interactions with the team, which is, okay, that was great. Let's elevate that pitch. Let's elevate that presentation. Let's elevate that service.
So please follow us for the launch of the second part of Series 2 of the 50 Faces podcast next week. You can find all of our podcasts on the 50 Faces Hub, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.